triannual porking of the ping pong balls, they had a 13.5% chance of dropping from number 5 to number 7, and that's the number that came in. We did the math. They had something like I can't remember exactly what it was, Maz, something like a 14% chance of finishing first or second.
Yep.
Okay, when you combine the two odds, they had a 14% chance of that. Their greatest odds were actually dropping 1 to number 6. They could have stood there at number 5, but instead they dropped to number 7.
It's just so perfect. I mean, I half joked yesterday saying, like, well, this is what's going to end up happening to them. Of course they're going to end up 7. They end up 7. It's so them. It's so Bruins.
So now this is the net of this is that there's a draft where there's 2 consensus players at the top, a defenseman named Matthew Schaefer, who's going to go number 1, and probably the top consensus center wing on the board is Michael Misa, the big center, probably going to go number 2. And then from what people tell me, the next 10 guys, put them into a popcorn, that stupid ping pong ball machine, and float them around in the air. Could be anyone. There's like 5 or 6 centers on that list. And what's going to happen is you're going to end up just taking the highest consensus center on that board at number 7. And you better hope that Chicago, Utah, Nashville, Philly, no, those are the 4 teams ahead of you after 1 and 2. Those are the teams drafting 3, 4, 5, and 6. Chicago, Utah, Nashville, and Philly. You better hope they screw the pooch and take the wrong guy. Because you're just going to sit there and take the guy that the consensus would agree is the next highest center. And that could be the Denwye kid from Quebec. There's a couple of big guys. There's McQueen. I think there's a kid named McQueen.
Roger McQueen.
Who's like 6'5".
6'5", $1.92.
Okay, that sounds like a Bruin. Big, stiff. There's a winger who's a Martone, right?
Yeah, he's projected to go 3rd right now to the Blackhawks.
Okay, so, you know.
Porter
Martone, this McQueen kid, the Denwye. There's a Swede.
Anton
Frondell. And then, the BC kid, the Hagens kid.
Yep, he's projected to go 4th right now, according to Tankathon, to Utah.
I just gave you 5 center/wings. That's obviously your need, centerman. So whichever of those 5 is left on the board, you're going to take, and we are completely at the mercy of if those other teams know what they're doing, because this one doesn't.
Oh, yep, no question. This has got bone dance written all over it.
7 is like
it's as bad as it gets.
It's the bullseye of you're going to F it up.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Tankathon's got some guy named Victor Eklund targeted for the Bruins. He's 5'11", $160.
Oh, Jesus.
That's all they need is another little center.
So if you had gotten 1 or 2, it's sort of consensus. You're going to go on the board. You would have taken Misa probably in 1 or 2, or I don't know if you would have taken the defenseman there, but it was sort of a paint by number. 1 or 2, okay. If you end up 3, it's okay. What's the consensus next best guy? I bet you there would have been a consensus. Central scouting. Who's got number 3? Who's that guy? And it would have been not totally clear, not like 1 or 2, but pretty close. Next guy off the board. I bet there would have been a consensus. 7, 14 different ways to screw the pooch on that one.
Definitely.
They're going to F that one up so bad it's not even funny.
No, their chances of effing up the pick are actually quite high.
And correct me if I'm wrong, though, so I put this in the email. There was a small silver lining, if you can call it that, last night. So there was that tiebreaker at the end of the season with the Flyers. The Flyers didn't get the first pick, thank God.
The Flyers were close to getting the first overall pick, which in real time I was saying, let them get this.
That would have been real Bone City. But they're at 6, so I mean, it could have been worse, I guess.
At the end of the day, I think the difference between 6 and 7 in this draft is not supposed to be anything.
Yeah, right.
Okay, who knows? But the Philly did have a few extra ping pong balls, and they almost came in. And if they had come in, oh boy, would we have had something today about how you handled Game 82?
Yes, definitely.
Game 81, and I think they won Game 81 and lost in overtime in 82 or something like that.
Yeah.
They didn't go full hog at the end there to lose those games. What'd you make of the TV show?
So I didn't watch it in its entirety in real time. I was on the Celtics by then. But I will say
you didn't watch the drawing?
I did not.
Oh.
I did not. I went back and watched it this morning online. I mean, I followed the results. But when I saw, I liked it. I liked the digit by digit coming out. I thought that was pretty good. It raised some drama.
It was.
But I'm also a Rocket, so I watched it. It was a little convoluted for me.
You didn't watch it in real time?
I watched it this morning.
Oh.
But I like how they did it.
I don't know how you couldn't watch that in real time.
So they eliminated.
I wasn't
well,
home.
go ahead. You watch it real. So go.
There's no point in watching a thing on replay because you know what it's going to be. The whole drama is, so you're not going to know exactly what I'm saying because I got like all sorts of questions about it. Like it was by turns awkward and unnecessary, but dramatic. Yeah, first of all, they walk out with a briefcase of ping pong balls. It's like, here come the nuclear codes, and they're ping pong balls. And then, so you don't even see it. So they had a weird thing where they had a side desk where they had a guy in charge of the timer who for some reason had to have his back to the ping pong ball machine. And someone's got to explain to me why the timer guy had his back to the ping pong ball machine, but he did. And he was in charge of hitting the button to set the 30-second timer. And I don't even know why they had to have the timer, but they had to have a timer. They had to have a guy in charge of the timer, and his back was to the ping pong ball machine. No reason I could tell. Then they had another guy logging it, writing it down, even though it's clear as day for everyone to see. They had a third guy.
The guy writing it down was the guy from
Ernst & Young.
Yeah, Ernst & Young. That's right.
And then they had Bill Daley, the assistant commissioner, I guess officially certifying the results. Mm-hmm. So they're over here on the table. Then we got Bettman and Buchagras by the ping pong ball machine with the ping pong ball attendant, or I don't know what to call that guy. But he was there. He actually put the balls into the machine. And then they would, here, Jimmy, I told you kept the raw, like that was an edited rejoin there. Like, so Bettman would cue the clock. Like, all right, Fred, start the clock. Or whatever this guy's name was.
For
Okay.
the first time in 16 years, the Isles picked first.
Do you want the first pick or the second pick?
I mean, yeah, give me the second pick.
For the first time in 16 years, the Isles picked first. Of course, that was John Tavares. So you saw us while Kevin was talking with Kenny Morrow and Sam Costantino. We did the first three balls of the
You know
second
what? So
draw.
I'm sorry. So the second one, they spared us the first three balls. The first one, we watched all three balls. But why'd they here? Just give me the first one again.
Please release the balls into the machine.
Release the balls. Go ahead. So there was ball releasing.
Please release the balls into the machine. And please start the machine. Thomas, please start the clock.
Thomas, start the clock. So Thomas with his back to the ball machine, then just hit a button and the clock would start.
Yeah, maybe he was watching the clock, make sure it worked.
I guess. So Thomas would start the clock, and then 30 seconds later, the ball would pop up.
They would say, retreat, get the ball.
Yeah, so okay, and then like so
They had to turn the vacuum on to suck it up into the tube.
Bettman would say then, it wasn't like pull, it was something. He would say, okay, release the. He said you gave him a cue, and then they never showed it though. How did the ball attendant actually get the vacuum on? I didn't see him hit the button. And how do it know? How does the machine know? Like, how come all 14 balls just go? How does it only get one at a time? Like, how come they all don't go? How come it isn't like
It doesn't all go
like
one.
a drain or a vacuum cleaner? I put a vacuum cleaner on top of a bunch of stuff. It all goes up into the vacuum cleaner.
Well, I got a theory.
How does this? I knew you would, because you probably have one of these in your garage.
No, I don't.
Knowing you
I do not have a ping pong ball.
It's not in your
I think
garage.
it's
You actually brought it here. It's at your desk.
I think it's logical.
This is how you and your wife select your weekend duties.
No, if the ping pong ball is the width of the tube, then the air can't get around it to suck up the other balls.
So once it's in, it cuts the suction in that tube.
Exactly.
Okay.
That would be my guess.
Okay.
And then the only way it stops is when the guy takes it out.
Got it.
That's how that's to me
That makes
how
sense.
it would work.
What I wanted to see was the ball attendant actually press the button or release a thing or open a vent or do something. All of a sudden, Bettman here. What did Bettman say? Just give it now, because
I want to know too.
I'm into this now. Just go ahead.
Thomas, please start the clock.
And then we had to sit around for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Here comes ball number one.
Draw is what he would
And
say.
the first ball is number 7.
So lucky number 7. How does that affect the percentage to win the draw.
Okay, so stop. And then they did their job. This was smart.
This part I like.
Okay, so now one ball is up. You would be able to eliminate certain teams
Who didn't have a 7
who
as
didn't
the
have a
first
7.
number, right?
Okay. And then they'd throw up a board, whereas you said, now these are the balls you need. And on the second pick, the Bruins had 2 balls on that final draw, and they had a shot. They had like
They
an
did.
18% shot of getting that second pick. So they were actually in it for that second pick. The first one, I think they were out after the third ball. But anyway, go ahead. Just keep playing.
Here we go. So San Jose, you actually move up. Your percentage has increased. Chicago goes down. That was a good ball for Philadelphia fans, and so on down the line. The Kraken, good ball for them, not good for Boston.
Bad ball.
Draw. Ball number 2.
Ball number 2 is 11.
11.
Okay, so stop. So they, Bettman, it was just like they had like 6 guys there. You needed like 2. You had the ball attendant, you had Bettman, you had Buchagras, you had the 3 guys over at this side thing. I want to know how they turned the machine, how they got the vacuum cleaner on. I want to know that. I never saw the ball attendant flip a button or anything. And I want to know exactly how that works. Maybe you got it, Mazz.
No, I have no idea how that part of it works.
How does that vacuum thing, how does it know to only suck up one ball?
Again, I can explain the one ball thing, but because it blocks the suction.
That makes sense.
The one ball that goes up there prevents the air from being strong enough to pull another ball into the chamber.
It's like a clogged vacuum.
I don't know. Yeah, right. Exactly. Maybe he's got like some sort of foot pedal to turn the pump on and suck that mother up there.
So I think this is a better format than they do the drawing behind closed doors.
I liked it.
And then they come out and the 12 GMs are sitting around those podiums and they open up the envelopes. I think this is better. It's in real time. You can see it. If you play it right, and I think they're close. It's a little clunky, a few too many guys. I didn't need Thomas with the timer, with his back to everybody. That was weird. I don't need 2 guys logging the results. Like we can all
Thomas, please start the clock.
Okay, so we can all see it. So it was they had a few too many guys in there.
Please release the balls.
Release the balls. But they did it right, and you can even draw it out a little bit more. Okay, first ball up. Here are the teams that are still in. Here are the teams that are out. Here are what the teams need, and then you can follow in real time. They could slow it down even more. In fact, more than 30 seconds, and really draw out what every ball means.
I love the fact that you get sort of updated odds as you go.
Yes, you do.
That part was good. That's like, okay, are they still in it? And then, they got the second number too, so they get the first 2 numbers of the 4 they need. Like you sort of get sucked into that.
And on that second draw, you knew there was 1 ball left. The Bruins needed the 7 or the 14, and you would have gotten the second pick. And it came up as the 3, and you lost out. But they set it up. They reset. They gave you new odds. You knew exactly what numbers you needed for your team. And that worked. It worked. I can't believe you didn't watch it in real time. How do you not watch that in real time? You got to watch that in real time.
I was busy.
I was on the Celtics. I switched and watched the game.
You can always go back and watch the game in real time. Once you know the lottery result, the ping pong balls aren't dramatic.
Well, but you watch it to see how this sort of whole operation worked, which is what I did. And I will admit that I sort of totally forgot about it. I put the Celtics game on and then went, oh, my God, that's right. I saw it come up on the screen or on the phone that the number 1 pick had gone to...
Went to the Islanders, yes.
That had gone to the Islanders. And I went, oh, where did the Bruins end up? And I saw 7. And I went...
Of course.
Like, I was hard not to laugh when that happened.
All right, there's that. Your call's on. Thomas?
Thomas, please start the clock.
Thomas, start the clock. But don't look. Don't look over here. I don't know why.
Release the balls.
Why couldn't he look over there?
The other thing
makes no sense to me.
I think it was
like the Ark of the Covenant. Don't look at it, Marion.
Yeah, close your eyes. Yeah. When they were announcing the second pick, Bettman said Bill Daly announced the second pick, or maybe it was Buchagras. One of them said it, and then there was like both guys were scribbling on their pads.
Yeah.
And there was like this 20-second delay or 15 seconds.
Okay,
like, dude, put the pen down. Tell me who got it. Like, we know already. Just announce it.
I think they have the bones of a good show. They just got to tighten it up a little bit.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger Mazz here. For more Bruins analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.